Hello everyone, this week for our fitness activity we are going to learn how to find our heart rate. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to take two fingers and you're actually going to use the pads of your fingers there. So use your finger pads and we're going to start with our pulse on our neck. So you kind of find your jawbone and you don't want to place your two fingers on the bone itself. You want to go a little bit below on the side here. And you might have to move around and readjust. But for example, my pulse, or my finding my heart rate is right about here. You don't want to push in really hard to find it, but just kind of feel around to find your pulse. Yep, mine's right there. If you can't find it on your neck, you can actually try to find it on your wrist. And here's how I do it. Your pointer finger, if you go straight down your pointer finger all the way down to your wrist, your pulse will be somewhere in this area. So it's more on the thumb side of your wrist. You don't need to be putting it through the middle and through the pinky side. On the thumb side, you should find your pulse right about here. I usually don't find my pulse this way, so I'm going to go ahead and switch and go down here like this. I hold my hand this way. I gently press around, finding my pulse, and I just found my pulse. My pulse is right here. I can maybe move up a little bit and still feel it. So here's my pulse at my wrist, and here's where you find it at your neck. Now, as we move on to find your heart rate, or how many times your heart is beating per minute, you need to count how many times you feel it beep or beat, and we will count for a whole minute. Now, if you're a person who has a Fitbit or any sort of device, you'll notice that these devices will actually get your heart rate for you. So some of you may have that to where it makes it easy tracking what your heart rate is doing, but if you don't, we can always do it this way. So I'm going to pull up a timer here and we will figure out your heart rate per minute. Alright, so let's go ahead and start figuring out what our heart rate is. Now this will probably be more of our resting heart rate since we are sitting right now. So that just means when your body's not moving, when your body's not working very hard and it's resting, what is your heart rate? So you can see right here that I have put a minute on our timer, and I'm going to click start here in a second. But before I do that, I want you to take your two fingers. I want you to find your pulse. If you can't find it here, try it on your wrist. I prefer here, it's easier for me up here. And I'll give you a few more seconds to find it. And when I push start, you're going to count how many times you feel your pulse for a whole minute. And we'll have our heart rate per minute. All right, ready and start. All right, time up. So for example, my resting heart rate right now is around 75 beats per minute. Go ahead, what is yours? Now another way people oftentimes get their heart rate is they will, instead of sitting quietly for a whole minute and counting their heart rate, they will only do it for 15 seconds. And in that 15 seconds, they'll count their heart rate And when the time is up, they will actually multiply whatever number they got or how many pulses they counted, they will multiply that by 4 because there are 4 15-second increments in a minute. Okay, so that's how you do that. All right, team, and now for your assignment. I need you to get your heart rate 4 times. So I need you to get your resting heart rate, which the best version of your resting heart rate is when you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is get your heart rate. So this is beats per minute. So just like we did in the video, you're going to time yourself for a minute. Maybe use a wristwatch, maybe use your alarm clock, but find some sort of watch to time for a minute and calculate your resting heart rate. If you forget to do it in the morning, that's okay, but just take your time to sit and relax for a few minutes and then take your heart rate, and that will count as your resting heart rate. The other heart rate I want you to do is in the blue zone or the easy zone. So this would be like walking, and this would be like you're exercising. However, you are able to talk still. It's not hard to talk, so it's just very light and easy exercise. And then take your pulse. I want you to find your heart rate in the yellow or moderate zone. So that would be you can talk, but it's uncomfortable to talk. So that would be like going on a run or riding your bike fairly aggressively, and take your pulse that way. And I want you to find your pulse for when you're in the red zone. So that's when you're doing really heavy, really hard exercises. It is not comfortable to talk at all. Most of the time, people don't want to talk when their heart rate is in that zone. And find what your heart rate is then. That way we can see the range of your heart rate. All right, good luck, team, and I look forward to seeing your results. Bye. Also, side note, if you for some reason don't have a clock in your house, on your iPads or on a lot of iPads, it has this like clock button. You click on that, and there's different options. So this is just showing like what time it is around the world. But at the very bottom, if you click on stopwatch, it will take you to this, and you just click start. And when it gets to 1 minute and you're done taking your pulse, just stop it and reset it, just like that. So hopefully that side note helps. Good luck again, and bye again.